Hello, welcome to T-Sport Bernau. It's Sunday evening after Le Mans. We had a very good Saturday. We got P2 in the first race, but today the first race was wet. We ended up finishing fourth, which is a good result for us. But the second race, because of the reverse grid, we didn't have the best of luck, and it was a bit of a destruction derby. So it looks worse than it is. We will fix it all tonight and a little bit tomorrow, because the next weekend is the race in Jarama in Madrid, Spain. So we have to make sure that, or we have to do a general service and get it ready for that race weekend. So first job is obviously pull all the damaged parts off it. We'll pull the grill off so we can get to everything, pull the screen out. Luckily the cab isn't too, like I say, it does look a lot worse than it is, but luckily the cab's not damaged, the doors are not damaged. So from that side, it could be a lot worse, shall we say. We have damaged another aluminium wheel, which is, that's life. But generally this is what happens when such big race trucks race on a small circuit. Then you always have the damage, and it was a very close competitive race. But yeah, we'll get started now on this and try and get finished at a normal time tonight. So it's been 30 minutes, that's all, and we've got front bumper off, screen out, grill off. Tom's going to sort of go through everything sort of around the cab, make sure that none of the electrics is damaged. We'll get it jacked up. I will then start on the brake disc. I'm going to change the front disc so we have new discs ready for Jarama next week. Yeah, we're just going to crack on, and as you can see, we've already unloaded all the stuff out the trailer. So that's the bumper that came off, that's the new one to go on. Then all the panels are ready to go straight on. Some of the stuff is actually salvageable, so the sort of wing stays, they're all good. So like I say, the only real damage really was the screen, but it was getting quite tired anyway, the front bumper and some plastic parts. So it, like I say, it looked a lot worse than what it actually was. So from that side, it's we can't complain. Both doors are good, and that's the most important. So Tom's just talking the sort of chassis up, front axle, rear axle. He'll also check the top cross and gearbox mounts, engine mounts, stuff like that. This is sort of a general service, what we do after each race weekend. I've got the brake saddle, no, that's a German word, brake chamber, brake caliper is ready to come off. Then take these bolts off, then get the disc off. We're leaving the front bumper off and the windscreen out, because we'll do that at the last, because you don't really need to think too much. So it's best when we're sort of still on adrenaline to get all the sort of technical things out the way, and then once the adrenaline runs empty and we're shattered, we'll finish the rest of it off, and you can sort of make the day longer that way. Sounds a bit crazy, but it works. So yeah, we'll get these ripped off now, and yeah, spot on. And then here you can actually see the wheel spacer where we actually mount it onto the front axle. It's safer than having the spacer on the axle this side. At least then the wheel actually self-centers on the proper sort of front hub part. And then it's obviously main important thing is to always make sure it's actually fitted. Otherwise, yeah, you can damage the damper, because then the wheel tucks in a bit too much. And that's why everything's sort of designed around the perfect race truck, so the dampers further towards the end of the axle for better performance and stuff like that. So everything has its sort of function, and needs to be like that. And then here, if you come, I'll leave the disc like this. Mel, if you'd like to come closer. So basically I've pulled the disc away. This part here is the brake temperature sensor, and this actually sends live data or live information to the driver, who can see it on the television screen or on the sort of telemetry screen. When these start getting too hot, he has a regulator where he can increase or decrease the pressure, also a switch for turning them on and off obviously, and then the water jets are actually here and here, and I think you can see, hopefully you can see that they're on different angles. That's to get the optimum water hitting both faces of the disc, so you're not just cooling one side. Okay, you'll get the convection or heat convection through, which will cool it, but it's more efficient if you can cool both faces. And obviously when it's in, the water's coming out the vents of the disc. This is so the pads don't aquaplane on the surface of the braking, which sounds crazy, but it would actually happen. So that's why we have the jets there. So, and then obviously we use these studs, they just screw in by hand. It's to stop the jets getting knocked or damaged. So yeah, there's no point for 2 seconds more, it's no point risking the actual water jets. So yeah. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm just looking at the clock, it's 10 past 10. We've probably got another hour and a bit to do. Tom's just finishing the front axle off because there's one part that we need to swap out. Front discs are all done, ready for Jarama, new disc, new pads, obviously PE parts. And then we've got the screen to put in, and then front bumper on the front, probably hang the grille, and then call it a night and try and find a little bit of time for a beer. What do you reckon, Tom?
Beer sounds good.
Beer does sound good, so yeah, definitely time for a beer. I've just got to swap the soap for the jet washout because we ran out just before the last race. So yeah. So as you can see, it looks like a race truck again, which is good. We just got the front bumpers to put on and the centre grille. I've cleaned this rim up because it was quite badly sort of damaged, and there was lots of sharp edges, so we've sort of chiselled the big chunks off and then rounded the edges, so when we're working with them it's not cutting your hands open. So that's perfectly safe for racing. Obviously we wouldn't put it on a road going unit, so from that side it's mint. Then wheels are on. Once this one's got air in it again, we'll then lower it, set all the bumpers, pull it out, take tent down, and then we can start packing everything away, ready for Jarama. So as you can see, looks like a race truck again, absolutely mint. I think we took another 4 or 5 hours to do it. All we've got to do is put some stickers on for but we'll do that in Madrid. Ormel, yeah, I think we'll do that in Madrid because the weather's a bit nicer. It's been raining on and off, and sometimes the stickers don't stick too well, so we'll get the stickers on. Then we've got to take the tent down, load everything in the trailer. Tom's in there already putting the bumper or the bent bumper in as like an emergency spare. So we'll get cracking on, and yeah, thanks for watching. Hope it was a good video, hope it was interesting. We'll see you in Madrid.